Is the Philippine justice system now at war with itself? Can the office of the Ombudsman really prosecute Vice President Sara Duterte while an impeachment trial is still underway? Or is this a dangerous overlap that could fracture constitutional order? Watchdog Samuel Martires, the country's current ombudsman, has openly questioned the House of Representatives' role in this high-stakes case. In a sharp statement, he asked why the House's Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability forwarded its investigative report on Duterte's use of confidential funds to his office, only to later deny being the complainant. If they refuse to cooperate, Martires warned, I may be forced to cite them in contempt. The tension is real. The House, through spokesperson attorney Princess Abante, clarified that they merely transmitted the committee's findings. They did not file a formal criminal or administrative case. The chamber has not acted as complainant, Abante emphasized, distancing the legislative body from direct involvement. But this tug-of-war reveals something deeper. It's not just about protocol, it's about constitutional balance and the very mechanics of accountability. According to Article 11 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution and Republic Act, Number 60, the Ombudsman indeed holds vast investigative and prosecutorial powers over public officials. However, those powers are not absolute, especially when it comes to impeachable officials like the Vice President. Legal expert attorney Rene Bueno put it bluntly. If the Ombudsman proceeds with prosecution while the impeachment trial is still unfolding, it could destabilize the process. Impeachment is a constitutional remedy. It must come first. In other words, while the Ombudsman can build a case, attempting to file charges or dismiss officials during the pendency of an impeachment trial risks not only legal redundancy, but institutional confusion. The impeachment process is not just symbolic, it's designed to uphold political accountability without prejudicing due process. This is where the conflict deepens. If Ombudsman Martires were to push forward and dismiss the complaint even before the Senate begins the formal trial, it could undercut the very case impeachment prosecutors are preparing. The credibility of the process would be jeopardized, especially if the investigation appears rushed or politically motivated. And timing matters. Ombudsman Martires' term ends on July 27, 2025, just one day before the expected resumption of the impeachment trial in the 20th Congress. If he acts too soon, or not at all, he could either sabotage or rescue a political figure accused of serious misconduct involving state funds. Senator Leila de Lima, herself no stranger to political prosecution, voiced concern over this convergence of events. This looks far too convenient, she remarked. Martires was appointed by President Duterte, the vice president's father. If he decides to drop the case now, it may confirm what many fear, that this is less about justice and more about control. Attorney Bueno echoed that sentiment, warning that a premature dismissal would erode public trust, not just in the Ombudsman, but in the entire system. Yet another legal angle came from the House's own spokesperson, Attorney Princess Abante, who stressed that their institution respects the Ombudsman's mandate, but insists that their role was strictly informational. We followed internal procedure. We are not the complainant, she reiterated. So where does this leave the Filipino people, caught in the middle of a constitutional standoff? On one side, an ombudsman who wants to act but is constrained by law and time. On the other, a legislative body that investigates but stops short of taking the legal plunge. And in between, a vice president whose use of confidential funds remains unaccounted for in the public eye. This is not just a legal technicality, it's a test of our institutions. Will the system function as designed, or will power and politics once again blur the lines of justice? What do you think should happen next? Should the Ombudsman wait for the impeachment trial to conclude or push forward despite the risks? If you found this video thought-provoking, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to Ang Kampanero, Tinig ng Katotohanan, Tunog ng Kasaysayan. Your support helps us dig deeper and deliver the stories that matter. Thank you to all our new subscribers, and to everyone watching, we appreciate you staying informed.